Hello, greetings. This is Gilles Monsieur. I wanted to come briefly to say hello, to pull out a few cards for the day. For I am guided to make those videos, to communicate on those light frequency, to assist and guide and inspire and so the highest oracle for us today is wonderful. It is rewards. So it is the rewards. In the French video we had the harvest. Harvest is the reward. The reward is come from the harvest. From it is the reward of all this work that has been done. Is getting this reward from Jupiter and Neptune that are and Jupiter and Neptune that are making a triangle today. And so there's a very favorable. A lot of good energy for all kinds of things. But on the invisible world is the seven of wand here. It is courage. It's the ability to have the strength and power and courage to overcome all things. For fear needs to be faced. The more we face our fear, the faster we can grow from them, from the elimination of those fears. What we see that is manifested on the physical world is the seeker. It is the child of wand. So it is the seeker. It is he who seek. He who seek will find. And but there is a need for research. It's very important to be curious about what is beyond, what is more, what's all those metaphysical things. What is it about? This great light and all those. So we want to be curious. For Einstein was very curious. He was a great archetype model of a simple person who was very open and very curious about things, and then everything that just came to him naturally because his curiosity in relationship to this world made him understood all kinds of things. So it is important to seek and to find. For Christ has said, "Seek and you shall find." For what we are working on is our passion. It is the ability to be completely fulfilled, to be enjoyed, to have all of our bodies, all of our aspects of ourselves, to be in the full alignment where we can totally be in this ecstatic state, to be satiated by life. And the outcome of all that will be temperance. It will be a transmutation to a higher form of spiritual creativity. So it will be a lot of balance, a lot of transmutation. There's going to be a great deal of newness within the energy. I wanted to say also that all those who are working towards like peace, or working towards ecological restoration, or awakening humanity to any kind of important information are all children of the light. They're all worker of the light. They will become master of the light. And this light, this inner light of God, can never fail. It's not something that God has never put in his mind, the idea that he could fail. It is God, and then we are made of this light of God. So no, you can never fail. It is just a matter of aligning yourself with this knowing, and then move from this inner self-empowered state. Because there is all this world that is ephemeral, yet it is important. It is part of a great process, a great show. But if we lose ourselves in the outer world, we are only the shadows will quench our thirst, but not completely. The only way to find fulfillment is to turn towards the inner light and find true fulfillment. Because love is, we cannot be hiding outside of love, which is what we've been doing. But in essence, it's like we're trying to like hide outside of love. But love is everywhere. Love is finding love may be a challenge on the earth, but it has to come from within, and it is from within that we. Even though sometimes people are awakening, we meet someone that we feel this love. It is like awakening to a new level of love. But love is love, and so it is important to always think of it as the primal goal of reality, to be a manifestation of love. Also, so say something about in the last video, that's to be void within the void. For the void is everything. The Buddha said, the void is the form is the void. And so there is. So to be void within the void is very quite an interesting state of being. For all things come from the void. They are void. They exist within the void, and whatever, since it is temporal, it will transform into something else. So in essence, the void is the essence of what we need to master. There is a master that is named Soul that was reminding us of something that was interesting. I thought I mentioned it. Is when we ask the universe or we pray to God for something, or we often have the ego that responds. It's usually our ego, because we do not leave enough time for the universe to answer. Well, in my case, I have the mirror that really doesn't leave me enough time to figure it. I usually have instant reflection from my thoughts, but it's because I've been working with this invisible world for decades. So I'm sensitive to those things, but at first you want to give enough time for your spirit guides, for the universe, for God to respond whenever you have a question. What we want is reactivate the dormant part of our DNA to reactivate this brain, all those potential. And the more we ascend, the more pleasure we find in serving, because we have to serve, like Bob Dylan said, you have to serve someone. It's of the devil, of the ego, of God, but you got to serve some kind of. You're serving someone always. So when you serve the highest good of all, but the highest good of all means you in the center, because if you lose yourself, if you think that helping everybody else but depriving yourself will make you work, that will never work. First you have to take care of yourself, then you can assist others, for it is from within that things have to be discovered. And sometimes the progress goes through compromise. Sometimes we have to give up certain things to achieve certain other things. It is like if we are living on the ground floor and we want to go check out if there is better light on the first floor, we go into the elevator. We have to have the faith that when we push the button, we're going to be emerging into a floor. But in this material physical reality, we have very little knowledge of this invisible world, so we hold on to it. Is like we push on like we want to go to the penthouse, but then we keep on saying no, I don't want to the door to close, because I don't want to lose touch with this physical reality here on the ground floor, but I want to see there, but I still want to keep a touch with that. So it is a process. It is something we have to get accustomed to, the higher frequency, higher light frequencies. And eventually, when we discover this cosmic elevator, we want to check out the upper floors always. We always have time to go back down through the stairs or whatever, to explore the other aspect. I was speaking about the power of animals. All the animals have great archetypes. They're very, very powerful. In the American Indians, I've lived in Denver, in New Mexico, in Santa Fe, in Taos, in the West, and so I haven't had many friends in Florida. I was American Indian, and so I got initiated a lot to this tradition, and the American Indian recognized the connection to the animal kingdom, into the great spirit, and so this great deal of respect and intuition, learning intuition from that connection. To discover your animal guides, you move into a meditation, you visualize yourself in a comfortable place in nature, and you wait for an animal to show up. As soon as an animal shows up, whatever animal, it could be an insect, a bird, a great mammal, whatever animal, it is your spirit, it is your animal guide, and you can start talking with him and see what he has to offer, to help you with. But in the Celtic astrology, it's all animals as well, and in traditional astrology there is 7 of the 12 signs that are pure animals, and then there is Sagittarius, that's like half a man, half a horse. In essence, there is a wisdom, that the bird wisdom, of course, that I always talk about, but in essence we want to discover the butterfly wisdom, the ability to turn from a caterpillar into this great being that can, beautiful being that can fly into the air. And so and the grandest of all butterflies are the grand monarch and the emperor, but there is no competition around butterfly. Any butterfly will be happy to be a butterfly after being so be yourself, just and allow this transformation to happen independently of what anything else that is happening. For in essence, freedom and truth is the freedom that the truth that we discover within the freedom, and the freedom that we discover within the truth are making the whole are kind of making the completion of understanding at some point. And so what we need to do also is to learn to delegate as much as possible to our spirit guides, or if we are in a corporate situation, we have to delegate to some people. In business, people delegate to qualified people, and the idea is to be able not to know everything better than anybody else, but to know who's the best qualified to do whatever job for you. So in essence, that is because God in essence delegated everything. He lives on paradise, but he created the universe of universes with so many amazing beings, divine beings, to regulate it. He's never had to interfere in any way. Everything's perfect as it is. But he kept for himself the one thing that nobody else could do, which is the ministry of mortal beings. So now you have this presence of God within yourself, that is the minister, that is the very spirit of the source of all creation, live within each and every one of us. So it is something we do want to remember and recreate this loving contact between our upper heart into the heart and move into this sphere of love and light. Well, I hope this message was interesting for you. I'm gonna this painting that's behind me. What was interesting is that it's a painting about the 7 families of spirit beings. But I had a chance to take about 15 pictures from the beginning to the end. So long ago, this is a painting that's signed and dated 2004. Before there was YouTube or Facebook, there was a website in MySpace, and people used to be on that, and they had those slides show, so I could have put I had in my presentation this painting that was like 15 slides, so it just created itself and then poof, it disappeared. So I'm going to soon be able to get organized and get my own website where I'll be able to make all those presentations. But there'll be also many there's going to be many projects, many things going on all around the world that I feel I'm going to be involved with in the coming months and years. And so I'm looking forward to it. I wish you a wonderful day. Thank you for everything, and I'll talk to you later. Namaste.